May 17, 1968, a man named Wilbur Riddle is walking the gravel shoulder of US Route 25 near Georgetown, Kentucky, hunting for old glass insulators tossed out by passing trucks. What he finds instead, in a wooded pull-off near the Sadieville exit, is a shape wrapped in heavy canvas, green and white stripes, the kind of tarp used to cover a carnival tent. Inside, it is the body of a woman, bound with twine. No name, no ID, nothing to say who she is. Investigators will call her Tent Girl. It will take 30 years, and a teenager with a dial-up modem to give her back her name. Here's what the medical examiner could tell in 1968. A woman, likely in her 20s, dead for weeks. That's it. No missing person report matched her. No fingerprints on file. She's buried in Georgetown Cemetery under a donated headstone, carved with a police sketch of what she might have looked like in life, and 3 words: Tent Girl. Case closed. Not because it was solved, but because there was nowhere left to look. She becomes one name added to a grim national tally, an estimated 40,000 unidentified dead, sitting in coroner's offices and evidence lockers across the country at that time, each one somebody's daughter, sister, mother. Now here's where this story actually starts, not with a detective, but with a ghost story. Halloween night, 1987. A 17-year-old named Todd Matthews is at a party in Livingston, Tennessee, when his girlfriend, Lori Riddle, mentions something almost as a spooky aside. Her father found a dead body once, wrapped in a tent, out along a Kentucky highway. Nobody ever figured out who she was. Todd can't let it go. He marries Lori. He starts asking questions. And for the next 11 years, while working full-time on a factory floor, he chases a dead woman's name in his off hours for no pay, with no badge, and, at the time, no name for what he's even doing. This part matters because it's easy to picture internet sleuthing as a Reddit-era hobby, message boards, and true crime podcasts, all very 2015. Wind the clock back. This is the late 1980s and early 90s. Todd Matthews is dialing into primitive missing persons bulletin boards over a screeching modem on a home computer after factory shifts, racking up telephone bills he can barely afford and putting real strain on his marriage in the process. He later said it plainly, "I didn't hear the word sleuth at the time." There wasn't a word for it yet. He was inventing the role as he went. For over a decade, dead ends. He requests old case files. He compares hand-drawn composite sketches to any missing woman report he can find. He writes to strangers. Nothing lines up until 1998, when Matthews comes across a message posted online by a woman named Rosemary Westbrook. Rosemary is searching for her sister, gone missing from Lexington, Kentucky, since late 1967. The details in that post, height, hair color, the timeline, match, almost line for line, what's carved into that donated headstone in Georgetown Cemetery. Not a vague resemblance. A specific, checkable detail. The same hair color, the same build, described independently, decades apart, by a grieving family member who had no idea a stranger with a dial-up connection had been looking for her sister for 11 years. But a matching post isn't a confirmed identity, and this is the part true crime shows tend to skip past. Todd doesn't just declare victory online. He contacts Rosemary directly. He connects her with law enforcement. investigators compare old family photographs against the original 1968 autopsy images. They file for exhumation. They run a DNA comparison against Rosemary's family. Only after all of that, in April 1998, does the Scott County Sheriff's Office make it official. 10th girl is Barbara Ann Hackman Taylor, born in Illinois, married, the mother of an 8-month-old daughter at the time she vanished from her Lexington home in late 1967. And here's the detail that turns this from a mystery into something closer to a quiet injustice. Barbara's husband, George Earl Taylor, worked for a traveling carnival, which explains that heavy canvas tarp, tent fabric, the kind carnival crews used to cover equipment on the road. He was always the prime suspect, but he never filed a missing person report when his wife disappeared. Instead, he told her family she'd simply run off with another man. No one searched for Barbara because, as far as official records were concerned, she wasn't missing at all. She'd chosen to leave. George Taylor died of cancer in October 1987, just weeks, in fact, before that Halloween party, where Todd first heard the ghost story. He never stood trial. He never answered for it. The case remains, in the strictest sense, unsolved, not because nobody knows the likely answer, but because the one man who could have been charged ran out the clock. What did change, permanently, is what Todd Matthews proved was possible. A factory worker with no badge, no forensic training, and a phone bill he couldn't really afford, closed a gap that professional investigators had circled for 30 years. He's now widely credited as one of the first internet sleuths, before the term existed, before the tools were built for it, before anyone thought a missing persons case could be cracked from a kitchen table. The method he stumbled into by accident, cross-referencing family descriptions against unidentified remains online, became the working model for the Doe Network and later for NAMUS, the national database that exists specifically so this doesn't have to take 11 years and a lucky Halloween story ever again. Barbara Ann Hackman Taylor got her name back in 1998. Her headstone still stands in Georgetown Cemetery, the same donated marker, the same sketch of a face nobody could match for 3 decades, now sitting beside her real name. Somewhere out there tonight, in a filing cabinet or a cold case drawer, there's another tent girl waiting on someone stubborn enough to keep asking questions nobody's asked in years. If you want to hear how another one of those cases finally broke, that's exactly what we're covering next time on Unsolved Files.